Hi, I'm Joe Jacobson at Wycombe Wanderers, and you're listening to Wycombe Sound.
The Wycombe Wanderers Show.
Welcome to the first, I guess, official Wycombe Wanderers Show of the season. It's a special this week because we're paying tribute, which sounds like he's no longer with us, but he definitely is, to someone who the club are kicking off their 10th season at Adams Park on Saturday with a testimonial. We're, of course, talking about Joe Jacobson. Caught up with the captain at the training ground this morning and been getting some fantastic sort of reminiscing with him. I think that's the word. I might not quite use that entirely correctly, but we'll be hearing his thoughts very soon. We'll catch up with the man he succeeded as captain as well, and also the current manager, of course, Matt Bloomfield, and a very good friend, as I'm sure you can probably appreciate or already know, of JJ as well. Looking ahead to the visit of Cardiff City, which is happening on Saturday. It's sort of half pre-season friendly as well, I guess, but also a real good opportunity for Joe Jacobson's boyhood club to help him celebrate what is a fantastic achievement, especially these days in football. 10 years at one club, and of course that club is Wycombe Wanderers. We'll hear from one of his former teammates, Craig Mackail-Smith, who is one of many. He'll be at the game on Saturday. We'll catch up with John Bignell as well from the Wycombe Wanderers Ex-Players Association, who is also on JJ's Testimonial Committee, which sounds very, very important, of course, and we'll be finding out a bit more about that. We'll also chat to Luke a bit later on as well to find out what we have in store for you in terms of Wycombe Wanderers coverage for the upcoming season, including some new programmes, some programmes you might be familiar with. We've got match commentary, of course, as well to look forward to. And food, by the way. There's new food at Adams Park as well, something else to mention, which Luke has also sort of road tested, I believe, as well. We'll be getting his thoughts on that and other stuff as well in the next hour. But first, returning from last season, we secured him on another contract, sort of, is Phil, who, of course, will bring you Ringing the Blues live on Wycombe Sound on a Tuesday evening. I've told you one of those exciting things already. But bring you ball-by-ball commentary, of course, including on Saturday.
Yes, with Sam Avery.
Oh, very exciting news. So Phil's been watching all of the pre-season games as well, and casting his eye on the new summer signings too, and can tell us a bit more about what he's seen.
Yeah, it's a lot of change. I was struggling to think of a time where we've had a real change of the guard almost. A few leaving, a lot coming in. And it's added a real zip and freshness about the place. And also, we sit here in a newly painted office and, the training ground looking sharp as well. There's been some sort of changes, moving rounds of bits. And it really seems to me this was the gaffer's opportunity to kind of lay the very start of his tenure, really, because last season he came in, and as I said earlier, the train was already moving, it was already on its way. It was very difficult to kind of steer it anywhere else, and he did the right thing, steady hand. But this window was always going to be about, really, I think, the start of Matt Bloomfield's reign as manager.
On one of the games that we spoke to you from, you had a real bird's eye view of proceedings. Could you really tell there that the sort of the structure of the team or just the way things were going?
Certainly, he's got a definite way of playing, Matt, and of course everyone will compare to the former gaffer, who had a very certain way of playing as well and was incredibly successful doing so. But we talked about those changes, and it's about sort of making it aware that he's the manager, as everyone knows that, but just sort of, unconsciously, subconsciously, whatever. But I think the one defining thing about Wycombe Wanderers that will stand Matt Bloomfield in good stead is that the mantra up here is, it's the place where you can really be yourself. And this is Matt Bloomfield now being himself. He's done his pro licence. He's a really forward-thinking coach. And, we know this as a player. We knew this as a coach. He's the hardest working man in football. And he's brought that ethos into this as well. And, yeah, I think people will be, if you haven't seen any of the pre-season action, I think you'll see some real changes on the pitch in terms of the style.
And fans, of course, especially excited by new arrivals. Is there any in particular that have caught your eye?
I think, there's a really good blend of experience and youth as well. The first signing through the door in the summer, Richard Keogh, is none more experienced, and he's a great guy. He's a great leader, not just on the pitch, just around the place as well. He's a real ball of energy too, but a fantastic person to have in the building. For the youngsters as well. And then Cian Breckin coming in, for his first taste of senior football, really highly thought of on loan from Man City. And, the amount of work that went in behind the scenes to get that deal over the line from the gaffer and Mitch, head of recruitment, and all the staff here as well. A huge effort from those guys, and I know because it's a sort of a biannual thing, isn't it? Our annual thing where, you know, we haven't signed someone sort of 20 minutes after the window opened and everyone starts to panic, which, you know, is fair enough. That's the fans' right to do so, and there's a bit of a vacuum of football and stuff to talk about. But, you know, there was work going on behind the scenes 24/7 through this window. And yes, I know, I think we were the penultimate team in League One, or even maybe the last team in League One to make a signing, but it's always been about getting the right ones in the door. No one stands out in particular because this place is always about the team. And everyone brings their own qualities on and off the pitch, and everyone who I've had the pleasure of sitting and chatting to on this sofa has been excellent, and we've seen some really good stuff on the pitch through pre-season as well.
And someone, of course, who's been here a long time, and the occasions being marked on Saturday, and you've seen a lot of what your kind of particular, you know, moments, I guess, of JJ's time here that really stand out for you.
The big thing, I mean, everyone will talk about the corners and the free kicks and the penalties and the big goals and the huge moments, and we all know about those. For me, the thing I love watching Joe Jacobson is that he plays with a smile on his face, but is still the most insanely competitive one out there. He's a great sort of wind-up merchant, and he really uses that to his benefit and experience. There was that great moment at Cheltenham the other year when he was getting pelters off the fans, and then just stuck the ball on Vokes' head, and he headed it in, and he just turned around and shook the guy's hand and really diffused the situation. But, you know, it drove him on, and you see him as a captain, he can talk to the referees. That's his right and his job. He does that really well over 90 minutes, and there's always a mischievous smirk on his face. But also highly competitive. And I think one moment that hasn't really been mentioned this week, we did a lovely thing with the fans in the week, and everyone talked quite rightly about his really high points. The tackle at MK Dons in the semi-final is still, I think, one of the best defensive blocks I've seen, not just at Wycombe, but I just think sort of in the game, you know, you talk about Pele being tackled by Bobby Moore or whatever, but that tackle from Joe Jacobson, especially from the camera angle from the other end, it's just absolutely phenomenal. And his reading of the game is why he's still playing at this age, and why he's still going to be an integral part of this squad this season.
I'm really apt that Cardiff are coming as well.
Beautiful, you know, isn't it lovely how that's where he started, and they can come down. And, you know, and this is another test of JJ, is that it's a proper pre-season friendly. This isn't a testimonial where we're sort of wheeling out players to come and do 15-minute cameos, and this is a competitive friendly match 1 week before the season starts. This has a purpose for the squad, and also it's a purpose for the fans to get behind Joe and show their appreciation.
I think that's something really nice, isn't there, for supporters to really, you know, show what a great servant he has been for the club and his contribution.
Yeah, I mean, it's very rare these days that players get to this amount of time at one club, and I think it's important that it is sort of marked by all clubs who are lucky to have servants who get there that long. So yeah, I think it's beautiful that we're doing this, and, you know, like we say, it's not over yet as well. There's more to come.
And as we've spoken many times, it really shows, you know, what's special about this club, that people do stay here for a long time.
Yeah, and Joe's a large part of that, because he's been, you know, he's one of the last standing generals of that era, and he was integral in setting that atmosphere, along with the former manager, the current manager. You know, that's an environment that's been made by the people who've been in it, and Joe has been an absolute pillar of that over the years. So we never know, there might be the next testimonial person already here. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised. So you never know.
Great chatting to you, Phil, at the training ground a little earlier on today. Luke was with us then as well, and joins us now.
Good evening, Colin.
And another Luke from Saturday as well.
Good evening.
And another voice that someone else, some of you will know from a Saturday. Someone else will know from the car park.
It's the best build-up. The voice of the car park. Hello, Colin.
Very nice to see you.
It's very good to see you too.
Have you had a nice closed season, off-season, perhaps?
Yeah, I know. We were talking about this earlier. It was last year, of course. The season started quite early, didn't it? Because it was the World Cup, and I think July. In fact, it was probably this week. Maybe a week ago last year that we started the season, so it feels like we've been privileged to have a little bit more time off this week. But it's
some of us.
But it starts again for us anyway this Saturday, a couple of days time. I can't actually quite get my head around the fact we're about to start again, and it's you know, we're in the warm weather, and of course we do know that ahead of us is the windy wind tunnel of Adams Park through the cold months. But yeah, looking forward to it. Can't believe we're there already, really.
And Luke, what can you tell us about what's new for the coming... That one.
That one, thank you. What's new? Well, we've got Ringing the Blues, of course, with Phil. I can say personally that I'm delighted to have Phil back on the station. Do you feel the same?
I do.
Good. So that's good. That's great. So that'll be every Tuesday night, starting next Tuesday with the thoughts of JJ's game. Then obviously this excellent show, the Wycombe Wanderers Show, which is great, is back on a Thursday night. Live commentaries, of course, with Phil every Saturday, home and away, no matter where we are. We'll have commentaries of that. Luke Cashman will be online and on Radio Player. And then there's something extra that we've not announced yet, but there is something else that's happening post-match.
Oh, what a tease.
That's all I will
nice
say.
Tease.
That will cause me and Luke to be crying for much of the evening, but it'll be fine.
I'll tell you one thing we do need to talk about, which is the Phil Nigel quiz, which we do every Saturday in the build-up.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the score was.
Phil won.
Phil won just by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah.
We should bring that back, but I think we should make it harder this year.
I agree.
Yeah, that's what we should do.
So what can we expect from this Saturday in the car park?
Oh yeah, come on, Rob. What can we expect this Saturday from the car park?
So the great thing about being in the car park, I do say this all the time, is that it's quite a privileged position because you do get in amongst the fans. So we'll be talking about the match, of course. We'll do the build-up, but more about that. It's just starting to get into the vibe and the thing about the whole thing about being at Adams Park again. So hopefully we'll be talking to some fans. We'll be talking to Nigel, who'll be joining us as well. We've got Luke there as well. So it's going to be the normal sort of thing, and it's just going to be great to be back together as a team. And I think that's part of it for us is just kind of. Enjoying each other's company, talking about the match, and then talking to fans as well. So it's going to be.
He hasn't got his document in front of him, obviously. No, of course, we're talking about JJ's testimonial game, which of course is the big thing on Saturday.
Really?
Yeah.
And there'll be a big Welsh contingent as well.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of well, and Nigel as well.
No, they're all coming up. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Leigh Delamere's going to be very busy in the morning, I think.
So lots to look forward to. Really.
Yeah, it'd be good.
And Luke, you'll be on hand as well to provide all sorts of other coverage too.
Yes, but the exciting thing of this Saturday is that we're actually able to bring the commentaries online as well as on FM because it's not a league match. So that makes
no Luke.
It makes my job easier. I just get to sit back.
15 minutes of half time.
Lots to look forward to.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it.
And of course, there's still the catch-up facilities. There's a podcast version of this show, Ringing the Blues.
Yeah, so there'll be podcast of this and Ringing the Blues as normal. You'll hear the match highlights on Phil's show on Ringing the Blues because that's going to be looking back at the games, whereas this is looking forward to the games.
Will there be terms and conditions which apply as well?
Yeah, see in store for details.
And Rob, a message to fans as they make their way to the game on Saturday.
Yeah. There's no parking, so park and stride is your best option.
No, you can't do that this Saturday.
Can you not do this Saturday?
It's not a league game. It doesn't start till
So the car parks are very busy.
Leave now.
And tickets available from Ticket Office 1 right at the front as you come in on the left hand side. Thank you very much. Bing bong.
That's safety announcements as well.
That was good, wasn't it? Or tickets.wwfc.com.
Seatbelts can be opened like this and fastened like this.
Lots more to come on this week's edition of the Wycombe Wanderers Show. Big thank you to it's like a five-a-side in here almost.
It is, yeah, almost, yeah.
Well on the way. We just need one more person, obviously. Still to come, we'll hear from Joe Jacobson, the man himself. We'll catch up with Matt Bloomfield and Craig Mackail-Smith, and lots more as well here at Wycombe Sound.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Still to come on this week's edition of the Wycombe Wanderers Show, we'll speak to John Bignell in a few moments' time. He's on Joe Jacobson's Testimonial Organising Committee. We'll catch up with JJ himself as well, and also manager Matt Bloomfield, who we spoke to at the training ground a little earlier on today. Also brilliant, of course, to chat to Rob and the two Lukes ahead of the return of the coverage on Saturday. You can find out more on the website and check out the Wycombe Wanderers and Wycombe Sound social media as well. Lots more to come in the show this week, but as mentioned on Saturday, amongst some of the many highlights will be a number of Wycombe Wanderers former players, including Adi Barricombe-Fenwa and Nathan Tyson, and Craig Mackail-Smith, who I'm very pleased to say can tell us a bit more about his earliest memories of Joe Jacobson.
I remember playing against him, to be honest, when I was at Luton and he was at Wycombe. I think I was playing right of a free maybe at that time, and I remember having a good old battle with him down the left hand side. Always knew he had a great left foot on him, but we had a real good tussle of me trying to get the better of him that afternoon. I can't quite remember the score, but that's my kind of earliest memory of him. And then obviously I had the fortune of being his teammate, and obviously seeing his capabilities up personal and seeing how tremendously gifted he is with that left foot.
And I need to be careful how I phrase this, but I imagine he's a great person to be in the dressing room with.
Yeah, definitely. He's a great guy. He's a funny guy. He's a leader. He's a fantastic person you want in the dressing room. Obviously, he epitomises everything that Wycombe is. Obviously, he's been there for over 10 years, which is testament to him and obviously testament to the club as well. And it's fantastic that he has this opportunity to celebrate the 10 years and hopefully have a packed out stadium and all the players that he's played with along the way there, cheering him on.
It's been fantastic to hear different people's kind of views of him, if you like, and some of which really crops up is, he always plays with a smile on his face, but he's so competitive as well.
Yeah, and I've never really seen him stressed, to be honest, about football. He's always just taking it in his stride. He's always got a smile on his face, and he's always happy. And I think that's why he's been such a fantastic performer for Wycombe over the last 10 years. He doesn't take anything too seriously. He takes the highs and the lows and works with them really well. So he's a fantastic character to have about. So it's always good to have people who are very level-headed within the dressing room, because obviously football is full of highs and lows. And when you've got someone like JJ in there, it makes it easier when times are tough.
And set pieces are something which obviously really stand out when you mention his name, whether it's from the corner, often scoring as well, or at the penalty spot, or a free kick. Yeah,
definitely. His set pieces he's become renowned for them. I think teams now just probably do a section on JJ's set pieces, his free kicks, his corners, his penalties. They are outstanding quality. As you said, he's scored a few directly from corners, and he scored some amazing set plays and also very important penalties as well. So he's a technically very gifted player with from set plays, but also during play as well. His left foot can find anyone on the pitch.
And it seems so rare for a player to be at a club for 10 years these days.
It does. That is very very rare, very rare indeed. And obviously, it's testament to him himself as a pro, keeping himself fit, keeping himself at his best for that 10 years. Because you see players come and go, they have a few good seasons, and then they might peter out, or they might have a few good seasons and move on. And obviously, JJ's been a fantastic servant to the club. His performances, kind of for the time I was there, and from speaking to people over the 10 years that he's been, have been there's very rarely been a few bad performances within his 10 years. So it's great. As I said, it's great for him to have this celebration. He is someone who thoroughly deserves it.
And something else which really comes across is what a great example he sets to younger players as well, and so professional in his approach. Something which he says he's got from the now manager as well.
Yeah, definitely. You say he's the kind of the guiding light. People see what he does. He's kept himself fit and healthy for such a long time. He kept his performance level has been high for such a long time. If there's a young player who's kind of wanting to model himself on a pro, it's himself. And as you said, he obviously looked at Matt Bloomfield in himself, who was a fantastic pro as well. So you've got two great guys at the football club who have kind of gone from strength to strength and been with the club as it's gone strength to strength, and it's wonderful to see.
And so appropriate that his boyhood team are coming on Saturday, and some of his former teammates as well to pay tribute. That sounds like he's died.
Yeah, no, he did. I know. But again, it's testament to him. It's testament to him as a person, as a player. The boys all want to come and celebrate this with him because he's a fantastic guy to be around. Everyone's had fantastic memories of him. No one has a bad word to say about him. And obviously to have his boyhood club come down as well, I think that makes it extra special.
And nice for you to return to Adams Park as well and really celebrate the career of one of your former teammates as well.
Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to it. I've been back a couple of times, but obviously this will be great to see all the other lads coming down and obviously celebrate the 10 years of a player that's it's probably well deserved, and I'm really excited to be part of it.
Oh, it's been a real pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem at all.
Great to have Craig Mackail-Smith on the show, and another friend of the show, John Bignell, who is known for many things, I imagine, but for being a key role in the Wycombe Wanderers Ex-Players Association. What am I talking about? But also is on Joe Jacobson's Testimonial Committee. Thank you so much indeed for joining us on the show.
Yeah, no problem. Good to be here, Colin.
It's really nice, isn't it, to hear, as I say, tributes makes it does sound like he's no longer with us, but it's fantastic to hear, teammates and obviously his current manager, who we'll hear from soon as well, who's a big friend of his as well, and a great credit to obviously himself, but also football generally and the club.
Yeah, absolutely so. I mean, as Craig said just then, I mean, Joe epitomises what the club is all about, really. I mean, he is just... he shows what it's like to be a member of the football club and what the football club is. If you had to find the perfect person for that, it would be Joe Jacobson.
So what's involved in being on a testimonial committee?
Well, we're trying to arrange a few things later on in the year for Joe. We're going to have a celebration dinner in the new year, but for now, it's obviously getting as many people as possible along to the game on Saturday. And you've said all the things about the team, his boyhood team, etc., etc. But this is an opportunity for the fans just to pay their tribute, pay their respect to Joe for all he's done for us. And what I would say to people basically is, if you're one of those people that don't come very often, and maybe you just come to the big games, the Wembley games, come to this one, because Joe's done a few good things at Wembley over the years for us. This is your opportunity to come and have a great day at Adams Park for a very, very good reason, to see one of our best players ever.
And a real fantastic opportunity to really celebrate what he has done for the club on so many key occasions as well.
Well, absolutely, yes. I mean, I'm sure his ex-teammates that are going to be there on Saturday will, people will have some great memories of them as well. And it's nice when you have groups of players come together to back each other up, to celebrate each other. But of course, Joe's actually been part of so many different teams now at Wycombe. I mean, I've got a photograph on my wall here, and this is the team that was promoted from League Two, and Joe is the only player left in the squad now from that team.
It's strange, isn't it, the amount of changes in that sort of decade that he'd have witnessed?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, so, and all these, and I guarantee you that all the people from those separate teams that Joe's played in will all say the same thing about him. He's in many ways, he's a one-off, and I think, again, as you said to Craig, the fact is that he's been at one club for 10 years, which these days is very, very unusual.
It's fantastic to have the opportunity to speak to so many ex-players that we have on the seasons of the show. But he's part of an elite group, isn't he? Who've made over 300 appearances.
Well, he is, absolutely, and of course, I'm on his committee as part of the Ex-Players Association. And the one thing Joe isn't, of course, at the moment is an ex-player, and we don't want him to be anytime soon.
But it does take a special kind of player and a special character, doesn't it, to perform at the level that he has at Wycombe Wanderers for such a long time.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I guess, obviously, I've only known Joe since he's been at Wycombe, but, I mean, he's played for a few other teams. He's had a long career in football, and, he's got the ability, which is the main thing. I mean, he's a very, very good player. He would, I've been watching Wycombe for the best part, more than 60 years, and he's definitely in my all-time best 11, because he is a very good player. And if you look at him now, I mean, most people are saying at the moment he's the best left back the club's ever had, and I wouldn't disagree with that. But like in all things, you adapt, and Joe's adapting now, and he's playing a lot of his games as a centre-back, and he's very good at that too. His reading of a game is second to none, really.
And it's been really nice to get people's reflections on, kind of their memories of his contributions. What particular occasions stand out in terms of Joe's contribution to games?
Well, obviously everybody, talks about the hat trick and goals from corners, but I mean, as I mentioned earlier, if you think about it, the South End playoff final, which sadly we lost, but Joe scored that fantastic goal in the 90th minute, and then obviously he got the assist and a penalty for the game that took us up to the championship. Sadly, most of us weren't there to see it, and but even again. So he was there for the Sunderland game again. So in his 10 years here, he's been to Wembley 3 times, and I just think week in, week out, he's a very good player. So you can pick out obviously the moments that a lot of people do, but I would say for consistency, Joe's your man.
We were talking to Phil earlier as well, who obviously highlighted not just his playing ability, but the fact that he always seems to have a smile on his face, yet he's so competitive. And Craig was saying, he's never seen him stressed. No, absolutely. And I think all the supporters that know Joe and have talked to him would admit he's very, very approachable, always got time for people, and a very good leader as well. I mean, he's been, one of the generals at the club for a few years. He's been skipper for the last couple of seasons, and that's all part of this, what he brings to the club. And such a great example of a professional, and we'll hear from him shortly as well, just saying that, he's followed the example of Matt Bloomfield when he was the captain, and, getting in early to training, and such a great thing for young professionals to follow. Yeah, absolutely. If you wanted a model, then there you go. If you wanted a model for a pro footballer, look at Matt Bloomfield, look at Joe Jacobson. So what's it been like organising Saturday? Well, I think the organising of Saturday has been mostly done by Neil Peters and the club. So, our involvement on the committee as far as Saturday is concerned has been quite slight, really. But hopefully we'll be able to put in our hours as the season goes on, and we get this celebration dinner up and running sometime in the new year. I was going to say, is there anything else you can tell us about what's to come to mark this special occasion? Well, we're hoping it will be a big celebration dinner at the club. Many people as possible come. We'll have interviews, and hopefully a lot of Joe's old teammates will come back again. We're going to have an auction, hopefully, and a comedian, and yes, hopefully it'll be a great night. I mean, it's all being put together as we speak, really. So, watch this space, I would say, Colin. No doubt we'll be on and let you know in good time. Absolutely. And as we touched on with Craig as well, it's such a special thing, isn't it, to be at a club for 10 years, which seems to happen less and less these days. Well, it does for lots of reasons. And, you don't stay at the club for 10 years unless you're an exceptionally good footballer and an exceptionally good person. And, Joe has got both of those attributes. He's a great club man, he's an exceptional player, and he's a great bloke. So, and lots to celebrate, as we say, but really nice as well, looking ahead to the season to come, and as you touched on, what his contribution will be. Absolutely, and I hope his contribution continues to be as it has been, and I'm sure it will be for the previous 10 years. I think, Joe's going to be involved this season, quite a lot. He's going to be there or thereabouts, and, long may it continue. And we'll hear from the manager as well, but something else which really stands out is, it's great, obviously, when things are going well, but, when there's sort of perhaps darker times, if that's the right expression, then, that's when, a player like him really stands up as well. Well, yeah, I mean, I think there's lots been said about, I'm not getting too up when things are good and not being too down when things are not going so well. And I think people like Joe, we've lucky to have a few players like that over the years. It's been the ethos of the club, and it's very important, obviously, and Joe again epitomises that. It feels like a really exciting time, doesn't it, to be having this, with just a week away from the start of the season as well. Yes, I mean, this is the last pre-season friendly, as it were, but obviously it is a lot more on Saturday because it's Joe's big day, and the season is upon us. The excitement's there, so what better way for people to start their season really than come along on Saturday? And again, I'd just make this plea for anybody that's out there, or if you bring your friends with you, just come along, support Joe. I'm sure it's going to be a great afternoon. And really nice for him and his family, obviously, to be marking this occasion. And as you say, so special for fans as well to have the opportunity to really show what he's done for the club. Absolutely, yeah. Come along and salute Joe because he deserves it. And I think the weather's due to be good as well. Let's hope so, Colin. Real pleasure to speak to you. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
You're very welcome.
John Bignell, who is a member of Joe Jacobson's Testimonial Committee, speaking to us here on the Wycombe Wanderers Show here on Wycombe Sound. Still to come, we'll hear from the man himself and, of course, the gentleman who he succeeded as the club captain as well, who now manages the team, who's preparing for his first full season in charge, Matt Bloomfield. We'll be hearing from him. Spoke to them both at the training ground a little earlier on today, where it was very, very busy, as you can imagine. That and more on the way as the Wycombe Wanderers Show continues here on Wycombe Sound.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Final part of this week's Wycombe Wanderers Show, the first of the season. I don't know whether to call it the first of the season. It doesn't really feel like the season started. But anyway, still to come between now and the end of the show. We'll chat to League a bit more as well about what we can expect for the coming campaign, especially on this show. Lots to look forward to, including more coverage of Wycombe Wanderers women. It is, of course, the Women's World Cup currently, and many of them were at Adams Park last night for their media day and their photos taken in the new kit. And we've been speaking to a number of the players and coaches as well, from the under-23s, from the under-18s, and also the first team as well. We'll bring you that in the coming weeks when their season kicks off at the beginning of September. But first, we return to the main focus of this evening's show, which is, of course, Wycombe Wanderers captain Joe Jacobson, the defender, who signed, some time ago, 10 years, you might say, from Shrewsbury, as you'll hear. And I've been speaking to him a little earlier on today to find out his main emotions going into Saturday's visit of Cardiff City and his testimonial.
It's been a bit weird. The build-up's been great. It's a little bit like organising a wedding at times with my family and what they want to do with it all and things like that. But when I've kind of sat back and thought about it, I'm proud of what I've done throughout my career. But to stay at this club for 10 years now is pretty special, and it's nice to have friends, family, players that I've played with over the years, fans were at Wealdstone the other night, and loads of people giving me well wishes and sending me nice messages, and they're the same people that I've spoken to over the last 10 years, and they're the same people who turn up every week and give us support, and the reason why the club's so great. So it's going to be an extremely proud moment for me.
And I guess it doesn't feel like 10 years at all.
No, well, sometimes when you think back of when my first game was and when I signed, it does feel like a lifetime ago. But then it also goes in a flash, and you think of all the things that have happened over the years, and the promotions and the cup runs, and so many amazing memories. I think that's what makes it even better. If we hadn't had any of that, if we'd have just stayed in League Two for 10 years and not done anything, it would have been a bit, not much going on. But all the players I've played with, some great characters, and I think the club's gone through 2 or 3 different owners over that time. Surprisingly, we've only had 2 managers. And you spend 10 years at a club in the Football League, there normally is probably 10 managers to go with it, but only 2 of those. And it's like I said, it's been really special, but it has weirdly gone quite quickly.
Can you remember your sort of earliest sort of first impressions? Obviously, your dad advised you apparently not to come.
He did, yeah. It was a weird one. That summer, I played in League One for Shrewsbury, got Player of the Year, so I did well, and I was thinking, I'm going to kick on. And I did have some offers in League One and League Two, and he says it on his interview. We were at the cricket at Glamorgan watching a game, and the old gaffer called me. He was in the car with Dobbo at the time, and had a long chat with him. And I came back in. I was like, no, I really liked the way they spoke and what they wanted to do and how they wanted to change things. And being down this way in the country also intrigued me, and wanted to be this way a little bit as well. So everything kind of marred up, and it's the best decision I've made in football.
I know another Shrewsbury Player of the Year has come as well, so it must be a pattern developing there. I
know. Well, Luke's a little bit older, so if he manages to stay here for 10 years now at 30, then he's done very well for himself.
And you talk about the manager, obviously, sort of persuading you in a way to come, and obviously a lot was made of the culture that he brought, and you sort of seen that firsthand as well.
Yeah, and a lot of teams, a lot of managers speak about cultures and how they've got an amazing team spirit, and it only kind of seems to come out if they're top of the league or if they've got promoted. But from minute one, I remember the old gaffer kind of set a meeting up in the canteen on the first day I was here and said, right, this is how we're going to do things from now on. We're going to do things differently. And from that moment on, we did development days, we set up the generals, we had a leadership group, and the culture was kind of set by the players. As much as the manager was in control of it, he kind of got good people in who could kind of run the dressing room, run the culture, lead by example, like the manager does now. the reason why I've said this a few times, the reason why I think I'm still playing is because I came in the morning and watched him, what he did every day to stay fit, stay on top of his game, and I couldn't help but kind of go along with that, and it was infectious. And I wanted then to do that to someone else, and with new signings, the first thing I speak about is, look, the boys get in early, we do our work. No one tells us to do all these extra things. We just do them because one leads to another and leads to another, and I think that's the special thing about this place.
Is that something that sort of kept you here for such a long time? Because how you can develop other players coming from either other clubs or just early in their careers as well.
Yeah, and we've built up this reputation as a club now for players to come along and they know they can thrive. They know they can, whether they've had bad experiences elsewhere, they know they can come to Wycombe, be in an environment where they can be themselves, they can express themselves, they can perform well. There's no serious pressure from people, barking down their necks to be a certain way. You've got good older players. We've had them over the years with Bayo, with Darius, Adam Malad, to name a few. Now you've got them with Vokes and Keo and other players who have been around a while as well. So when you bring in good characters like that, the younger ones thrive on it and they ask questions and they want to learn. And it's that place where there's a great balance between the experience and the youth. And we've had some exciting players who've come in probably in situations where they weren't doing great with their clubs, players like Anis and Eze, and look what they're doing now. So it's amazing what the club have done for those players.
Has anyone come to you for tips on scoring from corners?
No, not yet, surprisingly. It's been a little while, actually. Apart from the I saw one in the Women's World Cup, the Irish player scored, is it Mackail? He scored a great one. So I was looking yesterday thinking I need to get back onto that, I need to score another one.
I'm sure you get asked a lot about other particular kind of things. Obviously there's certain games and occasions that really stand out over your 10 years here.
Oh, there's been many. Like I said before, we've had so many. The game at Chesterfield, the two games at Chesterfield. The cup game was amazing, the 5-1. Then the promotion winning one at Chesterfield was great. The Spurs game away was amazing for the emotion from coming in at half time 2-0 up, and we're all looking at each other like, what have we just done here? Like, is this a good thing to be 2-0 up against this team? And then how it finished in the end was emotional rollercoaster that day. You look back at Oxford in the playoff final. I mean, that's been the pinnacle of my career for me. An amazing day to spend it with your teammates. In a weird way, it was nice that it was just us and no one else there, that we could kind of just celebrate together and be together, and there was no distractions of family and friends and everyone else that would be there, and people get separated. It was a really special day. Yeah, the Lincoln game, not just what I did, but I think we got top of the league that day for the first time, or the highest position the club had been in their history. So there's been loads of magical moments, and hopefully there's still more to come.
And does it feel extra special for you, obviously, being the captain and obviously following someone like, someone who's now the manager, and he's obviously been here a long time as well?
Yeah, look, he's the best captain I've ever had the pleasure of playing under, not just for performances, but his consistency in just his everyday life. And I feel like that's one thing I've tried to take from him. I won't be able to match sometimes his energy on the pitch and around the place, but I try to take little things of how he leads people and sets an example to people, and I admire him so much with that. And it's not just now that he's my manager, I've told him this for years, and we've also been friends for years off the pitch as well, and I know what a great guy he is. So when you've got someone like that, it's hard not to kind of follow them and try and replicate it. And if I can now kind of pass on my knowledge and my experience to some of the younger boys, just with not just on the football pitch, because we've got managers, we've got coaches who are better at that than me, but if I can help in a way that they can navigate through the game, and maybe if they're having any issues off the pitch, and I like to think I can help with that. So that's something that I take.
And great for other players as well, who've seen obviously that you've been here for such a long time, and a great kind of advert, if you like, for the club. And I'm sure, as you say, they'd probably ask you many questions, because you've probably been through what they're going through as well. Yeah,
and look, we get players who stay here for a long time. It's not just me who's been here for my 10th season, but we've got players who will be here for long periods of time. And I think the consistency that the managers have shown in players in offering contracts and keeping it, not just kind of coming in and going, I want to change 10 every season and not get that consistency. And I think that's what other teams struggle with. They want to build a culture and a team togetherness, but you can't do that if you keep changing and churning out players year after year. And I think we've done that really well here. So yeah, like you said, if I can help out with that, but whenever my time comes, I'll pass that on to someone else, and hopefully we'll be sitting here having another conversation in a few years' time talking about someone else's testimonial.
And also, you're looking forward to the start of this campaign as much as as many of others, or perhaps even more so with what's happening at the moment.
Yeah, it's really exciting at the minute. It's probably the most excited I've been about a new season since the year we went up a few years ago, when new players kept coming through the door and you're thinking, wow, everyone's improving us, and it's been the same this season. I think there's been a real excitement, not just from the players, but you can see it from the fans on social media and stuff. It's exciting times. It's a fresh start for me, having a new voice, as it were. I think the gaffer now has been able to have his pre-season to implement what he wants to do along with Tomo. They're really clear and precise in what they want to do with us, and it's been really enjoyable, really fun. It's been hard work, as pre-season is, but I'm really excited to see how we're going to pan out. And I think we've got a squad capable of challenging and being successful this season, and it's one that I'm really looking forward to.
And really nice for you personally, obviously, to be having Cardiff coming on Saturday.
Yeah, again, I could have, the date of the game, we were kind of hampered by the pitch getting done and things like that, so I wanted to make sure it was a proper first team game to start with. I didn't want to, I could have had the option of getting a Premier League team to send down a young team and the game not be as competitive, but I thought I wanted it to be that, and who better than a championship team, a team that I grew up supporting, a team that I started my career at. I think it makes for a good day for me personally, but I wanted to make sure I'm not going to go against what the manager wanted to do in his preparation for pre-season. And to be fair to him, he was really supportive of me. Any game that I wanted, he would have gone along with, but I feel like it's a good game for us to see where we're at. Cardiff as well, it's a good game for them to have a competitive game a week before the season starts, and yeah, really looking forward to it. So
just finally, what will be your message to fans who will be obviously celebrating with you your 10th season?
Just want to thank them, really. I've had so much amazing support over the years. I said we've had loads of success as a football club together as players and supporters, and to go through one of the most successful periods the club's ever had, and to be a part of that, and to play nearly 400 games for the club is an incredibly proud moment for me. And for those who come, amazing. For those who can't, who sent me messages and well wishes, I want to thank them as well. And hopefully we can have a successful season together.
Should be a fantastic afternoon on Saturday. There's some very strange background noises which I didn't detect whilst chatting to him. Which, if you missed it as well, you can. If you're listening back to it on the podcast version, you can listen out for those. Also, fantastic to speak to the manager as well, who of course has played alongside Joe Jacobson. He succeeded him as captain as well, and as you'll hear, someone who Joe Jacobson followed as an example as well. And Matt Bloomfield, full of praise for his current captain.
One of the best signings in the modern history of Wycombe Wanderers. JJ's been an incredible servant, top quality in that fullback position over the last nearly 10 years now. One of the best guys you're going to meet, one of the best people you'll meet, a top pro, which is testament to his longevity in terms of joining a club at 27. Not many people get a testimonial after signing somewhere at 27, but that longevity, he's like a fine wine. He just gets better with age, and we're so pleased that we've still got him here, and he's been a tremendous support for myself since coming back as manager as well, which I have to be very, very thankful to him for.
And something really nice as well, he said such a fantastic captain that he played under, and that he's kind of passed that on now, that he's sort of adopted that role and can pass on what he's kind of learnt from you, if that's the right expression, to other players in terms of being a professional and what they need to do to kind of be successful. Although he did say he has trouble keeping up with you and your energy.
Yeah, I know. He's just JJ's just an absolute top man. I think as a person, he's just so likeable. Everyone warms to him. He's got a way about him that is very endearing, and people listen to him. It's a great style of leadership, and like I say, he's that guy around the training ground that people warm to, and he leads by example. Obviously has that quality on the pitch, and I think he's getting more vocal, stronger with his leadership, and I think he's relishing the responsibility that brings. And it's nice to see him flourishing in that role, which I think he's both on and off the pitch. I think he's just been absolute top for this football club.
It's been really nice to chat to him about sort of his memories. But what would you say are your kind of standout kind of things that you think of most when it comes to his games?
Obviously the penalty at Wembley, the hat trick at home against Lincoln, I believe. there was a goal away at Cheltenham that I always go back to, the year we got promoted out of League Two. But for me, it's more, sharing a beer after that Wembley win. It was about those personal conversations that we've had at the training ground or on the way back from buses over the years. It's almost like the bonds are made in tough times more than in good times. So, in times of need, when we've had a couple of bad results and we're all pulling together, those conversations, he's always very level-headed, very, very level is JJ. And like I say, the bonds are really, really combined in the bad times as well as the good. So, he's obviously had some elite top moments, keep shooting from corners, all the rest of it that he likes to do, but on the pitch, but off the pitch as well, he's just that calming character that there's been a pleasure to share a changing room with for a number of years, and also to have the relationship we do as captain and manager is really special.
And obviously as manager as well, it must be so special to know that you've got someone who sets such a great example.
Exactly, yeah. You can never have too many good people in the building, and JJ's one of those. I've seen it at first hand as his teammate and as his friend, what kind of guy he is. So now to have him as your captain downstairs, I can trust him wholeheartedly, knowing that he's doing the best for this football club and for us as a group, and that's invaluable to me.
It must really help for your planning as well going forward to the new season.
Oh, most certainly so. You need your dependable characters. You've obviously got to have your mavericks around it and people who are slightly more up and down, but you need people like JJ who are going to be dependable, who are going to be there day in, day out. He's done every single training session of this, every single minute of this pre-season. He's come back in great shape, and I think he's performed to a real high level during pre-season.
And really nice, as you saw with your celebratory game, for the fans to have an opportunity to really kind of mark this occasion, and with Cardiff coming as well.
Oh, most certainly so. Very very apt, isn't it, having Cardiff come to town for JJ's testimonial, and the fans being able to celebrate with Joe. I'm really, really proud to be able to be the manager for such an occasion. I think it's just really touching. It's lovely. It's we're making memories for life about sharing the day. So it's all about Jay, and I hope he has a great day. I'm sure he will.
And a real great opportunity for fans as well to see the great mixture of experience and youth that you've got in the team, and some of the new faces that you brought in as well.
Yeah, there's probably been more change than maybe we envisaged going into the summer, but it's been a necessity to do. So we're really excited about the number of new faces that we've got in the building. But it's not just about them; it's about the existing players we have. We know they've been we've been some real good servants to this football club who are still pulling up trees for us, who are training and progressing and moving forward, and I'm really pleased by the blend of this group moving forward. It's not about old and new, it's about this one group moving forward as a group to take this club forward, and we're obviously very motivated to keep moving forward as quickly as we possibly can.
And obviously with, I guess, a bit of a view on some of the pre-season games as well, but is there an aspect of Saturday which will be giving you an idea of what you can expect from the team when the first game of the season comes around?
Most certainly so. It's obviously a very stern opposition, championship opposition, with some top players in their ranks, so it's going to be a really tough game for us, but we want to pit ourselves against we want to get up to speed ready for Exeter on Saturday week. We've had some good games against Aldershot and Dagenham and Wealdstone, and we're looking forward to the Cardiff game to get us ready for the season. It's important that we're up to speed and ready to go.
And just finally, what will be your message to fans about the occasion on Saturday?
Yeah, just enjoy the day, enjoy celebrating JJ, enjoy sharing that moment with him, because these occasions don't come around very often in football, do they? So make sure that everyone enjoys the moment and cheer the boys on, because we'll be looking to try and play as well as we possibly can.
Lots to look forward to on Saturday with the visit of I nearly said Cambridge. I don't know why I said that. Cardiff, of course. You can edit that bit out.
No.
For Saturday. Fantastic to chat to both the manager, of course, and Joe Jacobson as well. Luke's joined us once again.
Do you like my unofficial away kit?
What colour do you call that?
It is green, and
Yes.
it's sort of stripy, but it's the wrong way round. I haven't got an away kit for people listening, don't worry. But it's just green and stripy.
The away kit is smart, though, isn't it?
It's very nice. The home kit and the away kit is very nice. I've worn the home kit.
Have you?
Yeah, it's very nice.
And I also had a feel of the training kit last night.
That's true. I've not, so that's one up on me.
It was a Wycombe Wanderers women's media event. There was no Wycombe Wanderers women player in it while I should point out. But fantastic to be at Adams Park yesterday as well for their kind of launch as well. They're really excited for the upcoming season. The manager, Carl Simons, brought in a number of new faces as well. And they've renamed the reserves the under-23s, and there's the under-18s as well, and the first team as well. So they're going for promotion.
I lied. I just realised I didn't wear the shirt. I held it.
Oh, fake news.
Sorry, I just realised.
They're very different things, aren't they? Both holding and wearing.
Yeah, there was only one size. I don't think I would have got into it.
But do listen out for future editions of this show where we'll be previewing Wycombe Wanderers women and obviously following them throughout the season as well. And lots to look forward to, as we mentioned a little earlier on as well, with what's to come this season.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting season. I think once we get into the season, things will, I feel, calm down. I feel like it's been very busy. It's been a busy summer season.
And you've...
Something that's easy for me to say.
I was going to say, that sounds like some sort of entertainment thing at a holiday camp.
This summer season on Wycombe Sound and Wycombe Wanderers.
But you've been at the training ground quite a bit,
holding
the video camera, and really got a sampling the atmosphere as well.
Yeah, making feel look good, basically, in lighting. In focus, yeah. It's been really interesting to see, obviously, the gaffer, Matt Bloomfield's first season as a pre-season. And and I don't mean this to sound like when it was Gareth, it was a bad atmosphere, but it's a different atmosphere up there. It's really good. Everyone is bonding really nicely, and even like the new players, like Richard Keogh or Keezy, he feels like he's just been there for years. It's just all really nicely. It's a lovely atmosphere.
Really interesting how the new players are integrating, especially some of the youngsters as well.
Yeah, a lot of them have. The Gareth McClearys and the Matt Bloomfield have played against some of their dads, which I think makes them feel old. I feel old, the fact that they're 19 or 18 coming to play professional football. So the fact that they've played with their dads must make them feel a little bit older.
And you went to Wealdstone as well?
I went to Wealdstone, lovely ground, very nice. And yeah, the team look great. They look really good. I think they are equally raring to go as everybody else is. And actually, doing some league games. And yeah, the atmosphere, as I said, is really good. The team are all really positive. Yeah, so I think they are raring to go.
And really interesting as well for fans who didn't get to see some of the behind the closed doors friendlies as well. Obviously, you're at Arsenal's training ground as well for the under-20.
Yes,
that was wet as well, wasn't it?
It has been a very wet pre-season this year, as possibly some pre-seasons go in England because it's always raining. But yeah, no, interesting to be at the Arsenal training ground. That's basically like a small campus, basically. But yeah, really, really good. Again, that was interesting because Keezy, obviously, I think was the only person that had been signed, possibly, and possibly Kean Brecken, I think, at that point. So obviously, and a lot of trialists. So it was very interesting to see how they were all integrating and not really knowing each other. But as the pre-season games have gone on, obviously those bonds have been formed, and yeah, it's been really good to watch that build.
So who knows, there could be some new arrivals still to come as well before the season kicks off.
Yeah, 31st, so we've still got a few days.
Absolutely, the transfer window still open, and then there'll be some loan opportunities as well after that, and it really doesn't feel long now until the start of the season kicks off, of course, against Exeter.
Yeah, exactly, so we've got a month of transfer window still, because that's obviously the 31st of August, and we've got games actually before that. We've got Saturday, which is JJ's testimonial game, and then the week after that it's Exeter City, game 1 of 40-something.
And then they come thick and fast. It gets really busy.
August seems mad.
There's cup games and there's lots to look forward to.
Yeah, it's going to be good fun. And obviously, we've got Wycombe Wanderers Show Ringing the Blues on a Tuesday night with Phil. Some of those are going to be live in the studio. Some of those will be live out and about before games as well. So what could possibly go wrong?
A technical challenge for you.
Yes.
Speaking of Tuesday, the Tuesday just gone, there was a brilliant what would you call it, feature?
Yeah, a feature with Nigel, our Welsh exchange presenter from the Vales of Glamorgan, talking to JJ's dad, Howard. That will be available on the Wycombe Wanderers podcast feed along with this tomorrow. Why not?
Excellent build-up to the match, which is, of course, Joe Jacobson's testimonial. It kicks off at 3 o'clock at Adams Park on Saturday. It'd be brilliant if you could be there and cheer on the fantastic servant that is the current club captain and, of course, left-back, occasionally other positions as well.
Captain Fantastic, as he was described the other day.
Make sure you don't miss it. There'll be some former Wycombe Wanderers players as well at half-time. I nearly said available at half-time.
Buy your players!
They'll be on offer. Make sure you don't miss it, as it'll be a fantastic event. And we've got live commentary here on Wycombe Sound as well.
Ooh, and don't forget, next week, Prediction Week.
Oh, no.
I know.
That's never gone well, any of the seasons that we've done this. Yes, we'll be pinning those suggestions to a lamppost somewhere near you.